Can you hear me? Can you answer if you can hear me? Can you say yes? Ah, you can. Cool. Ta-ta-ta. Okay, I probably have to spread this. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Telstra speed test. Seriously, why is it so slow? Oh. Okay, cool. Yo, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there's a huge delay. I'm constantly getting error saying YouTube is not receiving enough videos, so it might be delaying or it can be buggy. So please bear with me, guys. Sorry. Oh, speed test, Telstra. It's actually going pretty good. Cool. As long as you guys can hear and see what I'm doing, I'm fine with that. Thanks for coming in. I've never done this before, so I have no idea what to say, to be honest. But yes, thanks for coming in and spending a bit of a time. I got no music on. I have no no idea what to put on as well. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything that you guys want to hear, you can just plug it in. Thanks, James. It's so weird. I'm just like I'm the only one who's talking. I'm actually like admiring a lot of streamers or like any other YouTubers because they're literally like saying something to fill it up by themselves. Like they're like the only one that's speaking. And I thought it could be like quite easy because I talk to myself sometimes. But it's actually quite difficult because I'm like doing this. I kind of have to read the comments. I'm like, wow, how can they do that? It's actually quite like impressive. Now I can understand why they get paid so much. Right now, I've created like a quick draft of my work. So before this, I had this really rough idea of how this can look like. Then I decided to draw a little detail of what this can what each characters are doing or what each objects look like. Um, and now I've created the main ones. Now I'm just adding some of the smaller ones because the atmosphere is actually like a deep ocean with a coral reef. So I'm just like adding up some of the details here and there to look like it's an actually ocean instead of like this can be anywhere. No one really asked, but like I'm just trying to fill up the space. What's this one going to be about? Um, I guess this one is going to be based on. I actually haven't really spoken about this work actually. I usually do. Um, so there should be an astronaut or like spaceman. I usually call it up here, kind of floating downwards. Um, then I'm kind of asking when can I belong? So like it's falling down to the deep ocean, kind of representing like loneliness and just being myself in the dark, so that I can and there's like these people. Hang on a sec. Sorry about that. Um, so yeah, just talking about myself, kind of like going into the deep, and these characters, you can't kind of see it at this point, but these part are saying yes, while these parts are saying no. But at the end, they're all wearing the same mask, and they're on the same side, and they still have like kind of this rejection and not really being happy with me being there. So I just wanted to talk about that. I should like kind of like form this a little properly. I just have these things and I just have to like write it down properly, but I just kind of said it so it could not make sense at this point. But at the end it will make sense. So bear with me. And like something that I liked is I grew up in Sydney where I was very close to the ocean. like right now in Melbourne, so like I'm not really close to the water or anything. But before I was really used to it, like swimming, surfing, and the place that I used to live was Manly, where if I want to go to Sydney City, I had to go to the ferry and etc. So like, and every now and then when I actually look down into the ocean, it's actually really dark. It's like almost like pitch black, and I just kind of like wanted to say that, like there's like this things underneath and etc. I just wanted to like talk a little bit more about that, about Australia, I guess, because like all the characters are very like Korean and like little Asian things. Where if you look at the mask, it's Korean traditional mask. A lot of different things around it, like what they're wearing. It can be like Asian outfits or like traditional Asian outfits. Like I wanted to merge the atmosphere a little bit more about Australia, and I want to merge different like characters or the object to Korea. So there's like a bit of a balance here and there, if that makes any sense, to be honest. I'm just kind of bludging at the moment. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get better, but I'm like, I have no idea what I'm actually speaking. Where am I? So with my work, I usually like improvise quite a lot, more than like what people think. So before I had, can I show you this? Let me see. Let me see. Where is it? I don't know if you can see this now. But when you actually look at this one, oh, where's my mouse? Oh. When you actually look at this one, this was my draft, and obviously you can see this um a different one underneath that I kind of like initially thought. So this is like kind of like technically my second draft. Then from this point, I just quickly add on the details and do the fine lining and get to this point. Because here didn't have enough details, for me to get to this point was quite quite difficult. Um, so yeah, I just for this one I decided to go with little detail over here first, then get to the fine lining, so it actually reduces the time and for me to not stress that much when I'm actually like thinking of something, because like most of the times I'm actually improvising a lot. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like at the start, I was kind of thinking of like for my previous piece, I was kind of like thinking, oh, it could be like, just like maybe like 20 people. Then I kind of sketched that out, and it didn't look that great. Like it didn't really fill the space up. And for me, I'm not really good with colors. Like some people are like really good at colors, so like it doesn't really you don't have to fill it up. Um, but for me, I'm not that good at it. That's how I think. Um, so like I usually like to fill it up with the details, so it kind of like loosen that up a little, and like people get a little distracted with the different details that you can actually see. So then, like 20 people really didn't fill the space up. So like I think I spent like 3 days, 4 days, just drawing like people's head and people's body, people's arm, and I think I counted up and it was like 300, 400 people there, and I was like, I'm not doing this ever again. But I probably will do it again if it actually works out better. But we'll see. For now, I'm probably not going to do like people for a long time unless I can duplicate it. Because at the end, like when you actually look at it from the distance, like it can look the same. So trying to like work a little smarter. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'm just like adding on different details here and there just to fill up the space again. But this time not with like repeating people's space and different thing. I'm just like trying to add up more objects so that it can actually look a little better, a little bit more entertaining. Control C, Control V. Yeah, that's what I like to do sometimes. But like with that, I just wanted to like, I wanted everyone to like look differently, like doing different stuff, I guess, and like having different expressions and different things. And um, I guess that was like my desire, and it was a wrong decision because it just took me too long, and I was just so tired at the end. But like, it's a funny thing right now, right? Too, like, even though I probably gonna take like, spend like another like 2 3 days working on this, I still need to do a little bit more details when I go on like fine line details, um, with my final sketches. So like, I hope I can kind of like solve the problem earlier, like what you said, James, so I don't have to spend too much time and like stress about other stuff later on. This is actually quite fun, like, because I do talk to myself when I do this, just like, um, I sometimes do talk and like sometimes I don't like to talk, but do you do all your works in Photoshop? I do all my illustration in Photoshop. So what I would do is when I finish all the drawings, with my line works, then I add in different like shadows. Then when I do that, while I do that, I try to like separate different objects in different groups. So like maybe this can be one group, that can be another, this can be another, etc. Then I export each individual object to After Effects so that I can have like a bit of a control in things. So like for this one, let's say this is what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm trying to move the heads forward, so then I would have to export head only, then a body. Then I probably have to repeat that 6 times because there are 6 different statues. Then I'll try to like move them in After Effects. So I use After Effects and Photoshop. Then for like a final touches and with like colors maybe Premiere Pro to just add in like different final touches and look at like how the animation or that's how I usually roll with my process. It's very funny sometimes spending wasted times on things that eventually will go unnoticed. Yeah, it always happens. Not too fast because I feel like if it's not there, even though it's unnoticeable, if it's not there, it's going to look really empty. So like I'm okay with that, honestly. How is everyone doing, by the way? I should have asked much earlier. The OS release. Yeah, I think I should have mentioned a little earlier. What I'm thinking of doing is I'm actually going to after um after Archne's exhibition, I'm thinking of I should like kind of think about this a little more, but I'm kind of thinking of doing that as a giveaway with people who already holds one of my pieces. So I'm like it's more like a raffle system or like an airdrop, I think that people call it. So I'm thinking of doing that just to like kind of like thank people who believes in my work and who actually supports me in different ways. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. But I have to think a little bit more and actually like do a little research on what I can do and what I can provide to people who doesn't actually hold my works, so that for the people who actually wants to join in for the raffle or the airdrop can have the opportunity to hold on to that work as well. I don't know actually. I'm just kind of like bludging all the time. I'm actually bludging all the time. Like nothing can make sense. yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to mint them, then put them as a raffle. I guess I'm just like very fortunate with everything. I just want to like give that out to people. But yeah, I like it. With the like people who won the raffle, they can resell it with a higher prices. I wouldn't mind as well. Do I have a name for this piece? I'm thinking of um I don't have a full name yet, but I'm thinking of having this as a like when can I belong? So you can see three people on this side. You can't really see it at this point, but like three people on this side having a positive reaction, where three people on this side is kind of negative, with arms crossed, palm, I mean like palm facing on the other side, and etc. Um, but at the end, everyone is actually wearing the same mask, meaning they're on the same team, they're on the same side. So I just wanted to like kind of express that a little bit more and kind of like let people know how things are going. So you can like some people might have guessed already, but so like my first piece was who, who am I? Then the second one was where. Then a third was why, and this is when. So we have two more on the series after this one. So stay tuned to see more coming up. Have I thought about the series I'm doing from now? I don't know if anyone actually knew. Oh well, it's in the bio. So I actually studied industrial design. Just recently graduated. So I probably will be working on. Oh, and then I kind of dreamed about being a footwear designer. I actually have worked at Adidas in 2019 as as an intern to do some of the footwear stuff. So I probably will be working on, and I'm really interested in like streetwears and like street cultures. So I probably will be working on some of that related pieces after this one. But it's still like, I still have months away. Um, so I'm not that pressured or like I'm not thinking too much about it. I probably will have to think about it at one point, but I'm not stressed yet. So I think it'll just come. If I want to continue a little bit more on this side of the story, I probably will try to come up with different names and like different themes on this side. Uh, Other than that, I probably will try to come up with a different thing that it'll be like my personal things again. Thanks for asking that. I actually haven't had an opportunity to speak about it. I probably will have to like publicly talk about that at one point. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I actually never used, you know, like this type of things before. So like after this thing, after the live, is it like possible for me to like find who was actually in this chat? I mean, who was actually in this um live? I'm about after, but I can see if participant in the drop down menu there. Ah, and I think it does. I tried this yesterday. Um, and I think it does. Ah, I see. Okay. Because I'm thinking, oh, okay. Anthony just left. So I was actually thinking of doing another giveaway to people who actually come. I shouldn't. I probably have to mention that next time because it was like kind of like spontaneous type of thing. If anyone is in like NFT space, I was going to do a quick giveaway to like, oh, my first YouTube live ever or like live ever with my drawing. I actually never done anything because like every single time you do something like this, you kind of get pressurized. And like because like so many people are looking at it, you're like, oh, damn, I got to do really well in this one. Um, I actually never done any of this, but I guess I should mention that next time. But yeah, I'm probably gonna cut it in next 20 minutes. So if you guys want to stay, if you guys want to like listen to me bludging a little more, you guys can stay. Feel free to do your things. Thanks for coming in. I just wanted to say that because I was like a little bit like spontaneous type of thing. So I probably will try to do this a little more often. It's actually really good. I'm actually getting a lot of things done. Like to get to this point, I probably will like procrastinate a little bit. Um, Here and there, I'm probably gonna be on my phone and like chatting with people on Twitter, or, like on Instagram. But this is actually really good. It's actually helping me a lot. I think scheduled a bit more folks in. Every people to watch you makes me. Yeah, exactly. Like if someone like is on your back, you can definitely focus a little more and like get things done quite quickly. But at the same time, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does work. So I just have to get used to this. Hmm. Well, I'm happy that you're still staying and like giving me support. I'm very happy. Very happy for that. I should do this quite often. I should do this at least like once a week. Because I feel like I can finish this part of like a small details draft quite quickly and like I can just kind of jump into um, proper final lines. Now are you using a mouse or is it a pen or a tablet? I'm using a Wacom tablet. I guess it's a Cintiq 16-inch. It still does the job for me. I want to get like a much bigger one, obviously. I want to get like the biggest one out there. Probably not the biggest one. I think the biggest one is like 30-inch, and my table isn't that big. My desk isn't that big. So I kind of want like 24-inch version. But yeah, this still does the job. I guess if I make another big sale, I can maybe think about it. I probably won't get it though. It's 16 inches, fine for me. I should probably try to do this at like nighttime as well to get more people in. Could be fun. I usually work at night as well. I just kind of like procrastinate during the day, and I focus at night. So for me, I usually have a navigator. No one asked, but I just wanted to show off. So I have a navigator. So I have a two monitor. One is at um, one's a Wacom, and another one is just my usual monitor. And I usually put my navigator on my monitor to actually see the full screen version of it. Then I can just kind of work on this detail. Trust me, a couple of months on OS, you can get that. A couple of months on OS and you can get that 24. I can get the 24, like, yeah, for sure. I can get the 24, but my table isn't that big. So it's still a dream. 16-inch is pretty good for me. If I get enough money to buy a house, I can probably move to 24-inch, but not yet. Not yet. Yeah, exactly. Like UK and like Europe is just waking up. I know US is going to sleep. So I think like a perfect time is like 10 o'clock or like 9 o'clock where US is waking up and like it's kind of like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in Europe. I guess that could be like the best time, like perfect time to do it. Let's see. What time is it? 3:30. Wow, I've been like speaking for 50 minutes. Okay, I'm probably gonna wrap up in 10 minutes. But again, thanks guys for jumping in. I know this was like a little rusty and like not planned properly, but I really appreciate you guys jumping in to see me just like rumbling and like talking random things that doesn't really actually make sense. But you know, I'll grow and like see how. And I'm pretty sure this is gonna get better as well. So I'll definitely let you guys know when my next stream is. And I'd really appreciate if you guys can just jump in. It's going to be a more casual thing, just like this now. There's no music or anything. I'm probably gonna put some music on next time because it's really empty at the moment. But but I really do appreciate you guys coming in. Now, all good. I like to share all my processes because um, I believe process is more important than the result. So that's why I usually show all my processes. Yeah, exactly. I usually listen to music, but I don't know if my AirPod microphone will actually capture that nicely. So I'll try to figure out different ways to go over that. But yeah, I think I should wrap it up from now. Thanks guys for coming in and looking at my work because it's really messy at this point. But next time when I'm on it, I probably will have more fine aligned works, so it's less boring to actually look at just like me just bludging at this point. So you guys can actually look at some of the details that I'm working on and like different things that I'm considering to use when I am working on the details because like I do have to consider where the lights are coming in, um, where the black spot is has to be. Is it too much or is it not that much? So it gets a little more interesting from this point. So I guess that can work out later. But thanks, guys.